So Roblox released this roadmap for the fall 2024 edition, and they basically announced a lot of new features that I'm going to basically just talk about. And also excuse my voice, but I'm still well sick and there is going to be a lot of reading, so my throat is basically not going to work after this video. But anyways, as usual, leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and let's get into the video. So right here we have the table of content, which has the driving quality, performance and bug fixes, the upcoming roadmap, and the features announced since the last roadmap update. Then there is the new roadmap items, the delayed features and frequently asked questions. Where basically, here Roblox is saying that this update covers what we announced at the RDC, showcasing the recent shipped features and adding several new projects. We have also cleaned up the roadmap by removing some of the older launches that shipped over 6 months ago. And catching you up, these are basically the features done since the last roadmap update, which is the gamepad emulator that I covered, activity history in Studio, then the Studio visualization modes, where it was previously called the viewport settings, and a custom analytics events. And there is a complete list of launched features that you can go to by pressing on here. But let's move to the first paragraph, which is the driving quality, performance and bug fixes. And here they are saying that since the last roadmap, they have closed 791 bugs. And they also added a new Studio performance and stability category to the creator roadmap, where you basically have these items, which is the reduced studio hangs, then explorer and properties improvements for large places, same with output performance, improved and faster autocomplete for scripts, and type inference for native compilation. And since like I said, there is a lot of stuff to go over, I'm not going to read basically every single one of the sentences, since this video would be probably like an hour long. But basically there is the upcoming roadmap now, where they've added 40 new features, and some of them were announced at the RDC. And I also made a video on this, which I'm going to leave in the description, which I recommend that you check out. But some of these features are a custom matchmaking, party API and more. And the more ways to test and learn basically talks about how they want to add a remote config, which will let you dynamically update experience settings or content without requiring a new update or deployment, which is actually pretty handy. And we are also working on in-experience experiments, which will let you test different versions of experience features or content with the live players to optimize gameplay and engagement. Then there is the improved music discoverability, which lets you upload music to Roblox via DistroKit, which is an in-experience what's playing UI, and there is also going to be upcoming music charts to drive discovery of top songs and music-focused experiences to the platform. And I'm already losing my voice, but anyways. And for a complete list of newly added features, you can again click this link. Now here are the features that were launched since the last roadmap update, where you have the Open Cloud Engine API, which basically just lets you run low code on Roblox's server via the cloud. Then the previously mentioned visualization modes, the updated type solver is basically for type checking. Then here is the gamepad emulator, which like the name says is a gamepad emulator in Studio, and the user interface drag detector, which basically just lets you drag UI elements on the screen. Then you have the cloud creation improvements and collaboration readability, where you have the previously mentioned activity history, and that's a place where you can basically see from the creator hub different configuration and changes made by different people. But later on there is the material generator, which is an AI tool for generating materials, which I also made a video on. And talking about previously made videos, my most recent one is the aerodynamic forces, which basically just talks about this update. But you basically just have the aerodynamic physics and properties, such as air density, which better simulate flight for objects like wingsuits. Then this is the DistroKit music integration, where you can again select music from DistroKit's catalog. And something really nice that they added to the analytics is the game server performance dashboard, where you can see the server CPU and memory usage breakdowns, which I'm guessing could be really good to maybe see the scaling of memory leaks. And lastly, under this paragraph there is the custom analytic events, where you can track custom analytic events in your experiences. Where again this is going to be pretty good to, for example, have a dashboard on a simulator game, where you can see how many people, for example, have opened a certain egg. Okay, but let's get to something a bit more interesting now, which is going to be the new roadmap items. And there isn't really going to be links to anything in here, since it hasn't been really released. But basically, the first thing is the third-party interoperability for images and meshes, which is an integrated file-based workflows for iterating on media assets classes like meshes and images. And this is going to come mid 2025, so this is going to make it easier to work with these images and meshes, basically from external programs. Then we are going to have a detailed place version history, and basically this is just going to track who made changes and when. Then a package publish support place publish, and I still need to make a video on packages, but that's probably going to come out soon. But basically enable package publish to trigger place publish within an experience without manually opening each place. But moving on, there is the updated type solver, which is going to be a full release, so this is just going to be a view on general and solid release of the updated Luau solver, which will also replace the existing one. And require by string, which is going to be a basically system that's going to allow users to better manage modules in their place. And not gonna lie, I'm kind of interested about this one now. Then there is going to be a revamp of the properties, and wow, I am kind of just surprised. But basically it says edit high-touching properties faster and more fluidly, and reorganize the properties panel to make interacting with it as quickly as possible, and significantly improve performance and stability of the properties panel. So working with it in large complex places doesn't slow you down, and this is going to come early 2025. And again, this is going to be really great because the properties panel has basically just stayed the same since, I don't know, the studio launch. Maybe not exactly the same because it had a few changes here and there, but yeah, this is basically going to be pretty neat. Then another studio performance and stability paragraph, where you have the reduce studio hangs again, and explorer properties improvements for large places, which is just going to reduce the lag when using the explorer and properties. Output performance for large places, which improve lags when printing to an output in large places, and this one is again going to be pretty good, because sometimes when I have to debug something, I basically just use the best debugging method, which is the print, and imagine just printing something out in run service with studio set to like 240 frames, and then imprinting out something like a C frame. So yeah, again, that's going to be basically good. Then lastly in this paragraph there is the improved and faster autocomplete for scripts. Scripting and package activities in studio activity history, as well as the asset management that's going to be basically revamped. And another really interesting thing, which is going to be the video API. And they've added new video instances and APIs that are built off of the audio API. And we're also going to have a new and unique way of displaying the video. And wow, there is going to be physically simulated avatars, which is a release of new animation constraint instance as a replacement for Motor 6D joints. That enables physically simulated avatars by allowing force and torque limits to target pose matching. And first thing that comes to my mind with this one is basically the ragdoll. I wonder if they are going to allow this to, for example, connect bones with each other. So you can even make like a skinned ragdoll avatar model. But basically, the avatar joints upgrade studio beta will be an easy way for devs to opt into having all avatars in their experiences spam with animation constraints rather than Motor 6D. And this is going to come out this year. So yeah, that's going to be something that I'm gonna be really basically waiting for. And avatar auto setup, which I still need to make a video on, is basically just going to automatically skin rig and segment the avatar for you with the use of AI. And speaking of AI, there is going to be a full release of the assistant in Studio, which is just like a chat GPT basically talking to you in Roblox Studio and giving you advice, or even generating code and so on. And I'm not really too keen on this feature and I don't use it, so anyways. Then the circuit music integration that I basically mentioned, the what's playing, which is a UI in experience controls, which is going to be a music section in the upcoming experience controls, which will show users what music they are currently hearing, and by which artist. So yeah, this would be alright. Then the music experience charts, and this is going to be basically for discoverability of music, and a basic song charts also. Then they grow and engage your audience, which is the automatic translation, and it's also for inexperienced images. Automatically translate text inside inexperienced images while matching the style and feel of the original image. And this is going to be, I'm guessing, again, AI. And also an additional video upload language support, which is just a language support for video uploads. And Roblox on all popular devices, which is a hold button shortcut to launch experience on console, which is a shortcut that allows users to launch directly into an experience by skipping the EDP page by holding a button. And revamped experience updates, which is just going to be the change to the game updates page in Creator Hub. Then the change from Roblox groups to Roblox community, communities, which are also going to allow banning people, and you're also going to be able to create forums on them, and also a sharing on profile experiment. And it's an experiment that allows users the ability to share screenshots to their profile. Oh yeah, this was the screen capture thing. So whenever you take a screenshot on Roblox, you're basically going to be able to display it on your profile, and I can see that there is going to be a lot of good stuff with this one, as well as probably a lot of bad stuff. Okay, I hope that my mic doesn't catch this, but there is a lot of noise coming out from the construction now. But anyways, and also inexperienced text chat on console, and I remember that the text chat on console was basically removed for a reason, I think because of user safety, so it's interesting that they are bringing it back. Then there is a party API, which basically you can imagine that you're in a group of friends and you're going to be able to, for example, join the same game and the same server. Then the custom matchmaking that I already went over, but it's basically a skill-based matchmaking, different rule sets that you can set, and they are also going to implement a queue-based matchmaking and rule expansions. But now there is the powerful search and browse capabilities when they change the discover page into charts. Oh, I didn't mean to press this. And then there is a more ways to earn and advertise. Oh, and I've heard about this one. This is going to be the integration with Shopify, which I'm not really sure how I feel, because this is just going to be the same as the you purchasing real items on Walmart, for example. And there is going to be rights manager, claims and disputes, where claims will now be sent to creators, and creators can manage claims, disputes and claims against them. Looking at the current state that this is in, where you for example try to take an item that someone stole from you down, yeah, at least you're just going to have an option to basically see this. And there is stuff about the Creator Hub, where you have the community created learning content, where the community is going to be able to create educational content for other creators. And there is going to be templates, tutorials and highlighted articles. And a cross-product creator home, which is a one cohesive personalized experience across Creator Hub Home and Studio Start Home. Okay. Then the remote configs that I already mentioned, and same with inexperienced experimentations. Okay, but let's go to the delayed roadmap features now, which is not going to be too short, but I hope I'm not going to be out of breath for this one. There is going to be a Studio Low file sync preview, where you are going to be able to work on your scripts as files. Basically meaning that you can integrate an IDE, so you can for example use something like Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. Then the OSS code libraries as packages on Creator Store. And if you don't know what OSS is, it's an open source software. So you're going to be able to publish the code libraries as packages on the Creator Store. And this again is going to be a good update. Then an update to the terrain creation, which has been put on hold, and avatar setup editing tools, where you are going to be able to edit the attachment points and cages of an avatar directly in the avatar setup tool. Then the granular collaboration permission, which is just a permission to give people in team create, and comments and annotations inside Studio, annotate and leave comments in Studio for your collaborators, again good. Enhanced drafts, which I'm not sure what it is. Then the asset management revamped asset manager beta, again previously mentioned. Improved avatar face and body tooling, which are improvements to importing, creating and publishing the avatar assets. R6 to R15 conversion tool, and this is something that I thought was basically swept under a rug, because we haven't gotten any news about it for quite a long time. But they gave no reason why, they basically just put it on hold, but yeah. Anyways, there is going to be custom logging in Studio, which allows you to pass error locations through pickalls. Finally, I guess. Then the user interface styling, which are going to be styles that make it possible to change the look and feel of user interface with one click. Then the improved physics solver, the fluid physics improvements, which is improved hydrodynamics and more realistic water behavior. Okay, again I'm interested to see this one. Then the future lighting basically being added to mobile, and a future lighting set as a studio default option. I personally don't think this should be set to future. But then there is the new voxel light grid, which is the improvements to lighting to bring the best quality option to as many devices as possible, included shadows, specular highlights and light reflections. Pretty neat. And then mesh and image APIs, which again I made a video on. Then the CSG on meshes, which basically just allows you to cut meshes, where previously I think it was only a lot on parts, but you're basically, for example, going to be able to cut one mesh into two different pieces. Then on upper body tracking, which translates arm and torso movement on your avatar in real time by using the same technology as facial animations. then the speech-to-text API, as well as the text-to-speech API, which is something that we saw at the RDC, and I also already talked about this one. Then the automatic translation for experience, icon and thumbnails, and support for language variants. An alias view beta which makes it easier to browse large asset collections in Toolbox, which was removed. Then an option to sell models on the Creator Store for USD, and a subscription promotion, where you're going to have a free trial or a discount on the first month for subscriptions in your experiences. And this is pretty new. So there is the Creator Hub is your key to success, where you have tutorials in Studio, and new Roblox created tutorials for new and growing creators. Tutorials can be found through Studio Start and followed without leaving Studio. And this kind of surprised me, but it's still going to be pretty nice. Then a data export API, which is on hold to prioritize custom events, and then asset privacy and permission on audio and video, which is going to be sharing audio and video assets with groups. And same with the animations. And then there is going to be the social and contextual description, which is going to be updated to the user interface for experiences on the home to show labels like friend presence in the experience, so basically friends playing, generate an additional instance and distinguish different types of experience to the homepage. Then dynamic filters, which is a commonly requested feature that will enable users to find your experience based on the genre or tag. So this is something like previously you had an option to basically go to the Roblox's website and press on, for example, the horror tag, and this would basically show you all of the horror games with that tag. But lastly, there is also the combined search and discoverability, which is merging discoverability functionality with search to simplify navigation. And lastly, my throat is, like I said, dying, but we have the frequently asked questions. And why did you launch something that wasn't on the roadmap? Well, they are saying that this is not a comprehensive list of everything, since it's hard to track over 2000 people's work. And here are some examples of work that didn't show on the roadmap, which you can pause and basically read. And why did they features ship past the target date? Basically saying that the features take longer to ship than anticipated, which is normal. But yeah, again, to give you a brief scale, this was basically a lot of reading. I don't know if I'm going to put any, like for example, gameplay on this side. For example, I can divide this to be half on half, so it's a bit better to watch. But yeah, again, leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and remember to subscribe because it's going to help me recover. Also check out my Patreon page, and that's going to be everything for today. So thank you guys for watching, hope everyone had a nice day, and see ya.